She gave him birth. And who do you think Allah is? So you got to understand what's being said to you. Don't take offense. But she's involved with the cares of the world. She's unconscious. Therefore, the school is inactive. And she generates the thoughts of what? Of the Albion Creed through her belief systems that she's accepted from her foreparents who subjected themselves to European psychology. Because whatever she thinks, she sends it to the brain of the child. Because she's the school. That's the first school. But what can be used to redeem that child from that European psychology? A knowledge of the Elam. For those are the good spells to counter the bad spells. That's what gospel means. Good spell. You're dealing with sorcerers. You understand? So you must become a scientist so that you can counter the sorcery. And if you think that I'm telling you a falsehood, I challenge you to put it to a test. You are dealing with sorcerers. And it's not a joke. And this Negro problem is your problem. And it's the result of master sorcery. So to counter it, you must begin to know what the prophet brought you. Now name some of the powers of those 7 Eloah. You might call them Hermetic principles, or Hermes Trismegistus, which means Hermes thrice great, or the triune all universal law, Allah. Name a couple of them. Polarity. Open all these atoms here. Polarity. So you see where we're going? Huh? So remember that when you're out in the world, people who govern already know this. That's why they got your seat. That's why they're ruling in the East. Are we understand? That's why the European is in your seat of power. That's why he's running your government. He took on your sciences and you took on his religions. You fell, he rose. It ain't whether he likes you or not. The power he has over you is knowledge. He's not physically stronger than us. We have been exercising idol God worship trying to fix stuff, and it don't fix anything. Don't have no power to save, no power to sympathize, no ear to hear. And we fight each other with it. Our versions. And all that is Christianity. Even if it's called Islam, it's still Christianity. But science is universal. So 2 and 2 is 4. Is it 2 and 2 4 in China? 2 and 2 4 here? 2 and 2 is 4 in Brazil? Do and do? Cuatro? Hey. It don't change those. It's math. Likewise, it is with truth. It doesn't change or pass away. Are we understanding? So even when you look in the Holy Quran and you look at Jesus bringing out his tools, the carpenter's tools, it's a compass and a square, an axe. You must understand it's math. These are principles. So you must learn that Drew Ali gave you principles that once you begin to study, you start seeing how government works so that you can put your house in order. So you're not putting your house in order with beliefs. You're putting your house in order to understand what is presented to you. So you got non-cosmic months of birth in the womb of woman, correct? Untampered with, you don't tamper with her, and nature will do her work. You plant the seed, and nature will do her work. Now, so you plant a seed, so what is the deal? Aren't you supposed to know what your cycles are? Huh? So let's look at this. So we got the sun, right? And you got the earth, right? And then you got the moon, right? And so the moon revolves around the earth 13 times, while the earth revolves around the sun 12 times. 12 and 13 is what? No, it's 25. Excuse me. I'm getting ready to hit you with this. I did that deliberately. Pardon me. Now the 2 and the 5 equals 7. You're back to your circle 7. What do you have here? You got 3 planets, right? So you got a trinity there, don't you? Don't you? Again, don't you? So you must understand how this works, don't you? Now the body, let's deal with atomia, or the atomic energy that is you, the anatomy that is you, the makeup, the maslim. Maslim is what? Muscles and tissues. Fetus and maslim means exactly the same thing. It ain't got nothing to do with what you believe. Has nothing to do with anything but science. The actual physical existence of a being with muscles and tissues and electrical chemical system is a maslim. It's not religion. And religion is only elementary science anyway. Maslim is muscles and tissues, electrical system, and electrochemical activity in that living being, no different than a fetus, i.e. baby. Whether you believe in a God or not is irrelevant, nor necessary. Knowledge doesn't require belief. It is above belief. Knowledge and fruition are relative. Fruition and belief are not relative. There are stages of development. Are we clear? So if you're Muslim, you see a European, you say he ain't Muslim because he say he's Christian, he's still a Muslim. Now, once you begin to understand the difference, then you don't get hung up with people's belief systems, and you don't let them hang you up. Nor is unnecessary hatred necessary for a scientist. So those ancient hatreds that exist between us dissolve. Now you start taking responsibility. Are you following me? In order to solve this Negro problem, we must begin to take responsibility. So let's look at Noble Drew Ali in his warning to the nations when he says, help me to bring my people back into the constitutional fold of government. And the 13th, 14th Amendment is not necessary for the salvation of my people and the citizens. And if these things are not carried out, the worst is yet to come. So he's telling you that this movement is political. You neglect that and pay the price. We're paying the price for it now, which is why we're here anyway. Which is one of the reasons why this subject matter is really being brought to bear. Because we know, those who are scientists know that the license is used to stagnate your economy, otherwise to kill you economically. In other words, they're waging economic war against you with that instrument, and you need to be aware that it is an instrument of economic warfare. However, if you don't know it, you don't recognize that, do you? You're looking at it as some legal document that you need to have. What they did is made you a cooperative party in your own enslavement and called it legal, and you agreed. And it's true. And so what they did, they guaranteed that you're going to take care of them no matter what they do. It means they can sit on their butts. And in order for you to feed your family, you got to feed them first. Because you can't buy or sell without their mark or the number of their name. And it's back to the name, brother. They got lean against it from birth. That's why, so when Drew Ali give you that eel obey, they are put on notice. However, if you don't do anything with that notice, you may as well take off your turban and fez, give back your card and button, and go back to the state where the prophet found you.
So that means that even with that eel on...
In other words, let's look at what the prophet said, and let's examine this from a law perspective. What is Noble Drew Ali actually saying to the Moors? He is saying to the Moors that being conscious that you're Moorish American is not good enough. that it itself, by itself, is ineffective. It is a beginning for your learning curve, your learning process. But if you don't activate it, it serves you no good. As a matter of fact, you become an enemy to the cause. Because the cause is uplifting.